Good afternoon. It's good to see many of you today, online and in the room, for today's press conference on the opening day of the 11th Review Conference of the meeting of the parties to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. I see some of you who attended on Friday's press briefing with USG Nakamitsu ahead of the conference, and we're joined here today by the president of the Review Conference, Ambassador Viet of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam to the United Nations here in New York. He will be speaking with you today about his expectations of this review conference, which, of course, as you know, takes place every 5 years to assess the implementation of the treaty since 2022 across its 3 pillars. So that's nuclear disarmament, non-proliferation, and the peaceful uses of nuclear energy. Ambassador Viet will deliver some short opening remarks about his expectations, and after that we'll open the floor for any questions that you might have. Ambassador Viet, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, and to all of you for joining me at this press briefing today. I am, of course, very honored and humbled to take up this responsibility as president of the 11th Review Conference of States Parties to the NPT, and I'm grateful to the confidence that the States Parties have placed in me. As you are aware, the NPT is the cornerstone of international security architecture. For the last more than half a century, the NPT has helped prevent the spread of nuclear weapons. It has helped advance concrete commitments in nuclear disarmament and truly facilitated the peaceful uses of nuclear energy. Now, this review conference convenes at a particularly challenging time. And in many of my conversations with colleagues and experts, it is quite clear that we are, in fact, in the most difficult time, the most challenging time for the NPT regime itself. So at stake is the relevance, the credibility of the NPT regime itself, and the conference will need to work and reaffirm this credibility and relevance of the NPT. In my capacity as president of the conference, I have been conducting extensive consultations with states parties and with other stakeholders in the 7-8 months leading up to the review conference, which started today. I have been conducting 4 regional consultations in the Asia-Pacific region, in Africa, in the Middle East, and in the Latin American and Caribbean group. I have also been to Vienna, to Geneva, to talk to experts in those 2 so-called capitals of disarmament and non-proliferation. And I have spoken to, visited all the nuclear weapon states and spoken to virtually anyone who wants to speak with me. As you may have witnessed, the opening session today really reflected the seriousness with which states parties take this review conference and the importance of the NPT, as well as recognizing the need of cooperation within the NPT framework. I also note the number of ministers and high-level representatives of states parties, again, an indication of the importance that state parties attach to this review conference and to the NPT as a whole. I'm very encouraged by the willingness and the constructiveness with which states parties have engaged with me over the past few months, and I do look forward to engaging pragmatically and in good faith with all delegations during the course of the review conference. You may recall that the last 2 review conferences were not able to reach consensus on an outcome. So it is for this review conference to work as hard as we can, as constructively as we can, with a higher sense of responsibility in order to reach an agreement on an outcome at the end of the conference, to reaffirm the central role of the NPT, of the past commitments that we have all adhered to, and to agree on practical, implementable, concrete steps as we move forward to reinforce the implementation of the treaty and its effectiveness in today's very difficult circumstances. So once again, I thank you very much for joining me here today, and I look forward to having a discussion with you. Thank you.